Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tony Fix Morning Show. I'm Tony T, ready to deliver some free picks here from this college football card. I believe there's 49 games on the card today. We'll also cover the World Series. Boy, what a game one. Can they top that? It's going to be tough to do. Boy, you over players got it again. We got it again at the over. Boy, we could have asked for a dream scenario there, right? One from the Yankees, a slam from the Dodgers. That's exactly what you needed. Of course, you could have taken a 5-run inning from the Mets, too, to get to there, but we'll take it for those over bettors. And also, we've got we'll cover NHL at the end of the show, and the NBA as well. A 10-game card, lots of back-to-backs. But again, we're going to introduce the cappers and get right to the picks because we don't mess around here on the 26 Morning Show. Let's say hello to Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Not too much. Besides the big mess I had to clean up. Dog's not feeling well. One of those mornings you wake up to and you're like, oh, at least I didn't step in it. Anybody who's had a dog owner or a pet, you've had those mornings where you're walking along and all of a sudden you're like, oh, what is that? That is not what I wanted to step in this morning. So clean that up. Dog's having himself a little nap in his bed, so he's looking pretty good there. So I made it, thank goodness. And yeah, what a show! See, didn't I say pitchers duel early? Take the under first 5, and then after the 5th, let the fireworks begin. And man, and we're only on game 1. I can't wait. What a series! And that thing better go 6 or 7 because that was one heck of a baseball game. I haven't seen a playoff baseball game like that in years. Love it. Yeah. It's just it's a tough decision. And nasty Nestor, he knows he almost needs Tommy John surgery, right? He's risking Tommy John surgery, and you throw him out there. And it was a scenario: bases loaded. What's the pitcher going to try to do? He's going to try to get that first strike in there, and of course Freeman timed it. That was it. That was the whole scenario. Walking bets. See, the thing is with these managers, when you walk bets, that means you have to get ahead of the count. So you're going to throw one right down the middle. And that's, sometimes these managers outthink themselves. Just pitch the bets because you got first base open and you can actually do a little bit more with them. But you have to get ahead of the count. So what's going to happen? Fastball right down the middle. Right down the middle. Oh, yeah.
Crush.
But it wasn't that fast, Tony. It wasn't that fast. That's the thing.
Right. That is true. Nestor pitching on
93?
Ligament.
It looked like a beach ball coming in.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He needs ligament. He's very close to needing Tommy John. And,
if you notice, Dodgers were first pitch swinging all night too. They were getting on them early. They weren't waiting. They were not sitting back waiting for a nice little pitch. They were first pitch swinging all night long. Dodgers are gonna be aggressive all series. It's gonna be a good one.
Should be a good one. Hello to Rod. We say hello to Mindy. Mindy, what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like there was a lot of sketchy defensive things going on in that game. But yeah, for the watcher, I mean, I loved it. It was a great game. But at you had Chisholm on third, and you have one out, and the infield's playing in. Why? You're never going to get that guy out at home. Never. Play for the double play. I mean, that would have been an easy double play out of that inning. And again, then Torres, with Ohtani, getting him over to third. I mean, that's the thing. When you look at these percentages, like you can't mess up something as easy as that. And where was Rizzo? Like, was he just not going to back up anyone on that play? Like, I don't know where he was. Why was he not at the pitcher's mound, right? When it went over his glove. But I mean, sacrifice flies come in at like 51% that you can get a guy home. And the regular batting average for guys is like 250. I mean, the chances are so much greater when you have that guy at third. And look, they showed it again. That's what you do. You give them chances. You can't do that with good teams. You can't give them chances. They'll take advantage of it every time.
Find little details from Mindy, a former college baseball player. She knows all the those little intangibles that kind of the casual player misses, but have huge impact on the game. Situational baseball there.
That's like you have like the little leaguers watching that, because it's like, hey, this is what you do in those types of plays. And then you have the guys in the major leagues out there, in the World Series making like mistakes like that. It will cost them.
Huge.
And so,
huge.
Yeah.
It cost the game. You had the lead, and you're coasting. Ohtani doesn't make it to third, and there's no
because it was a straight line drive. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. There was no sack fly there if he keep on second. There was no reason for him ever to get to third.
No,
Total blunder there.
We'll say hello here to Solo out in my way this weekend out in LA. Solo, what's going on?
All right, what's going on, everybody? We went 5-2 yesterday. We're gonna try to build on that today. It's a tricky card. Try to pick our spots. bob and weave, jab a little bit. That Dodgers game, great game. Freddie walked them off last night. Energy was electric. USC, they got it done on the lake end. Lakers used a lot of energy. Not sure about the Lakers today, but let's get into the card and make a little money.
Let's make some money on this card. Let's get to it. Let's welcome in Solo, top of the leaderboard here over the last 7 days over at Tony'sPicks.com. So let's get underway here. We'll start with college football. You know how we do it here. We'll cover all the nooners here to start the show. North Carolina, Virginia, Georgia Tech, Vatech, Buffalo, Ohio, Notre Dame and Navy in a neutral site there in MetLife, Washington and Indiana with their backup at quarterback, Oklahoma at Ole Miss. Boy, Oklahoma, a lot of pressure on this team. Tulane, North Texas, interesting matchup there. Charlotte, Memphis, Nebraska, the Mindies, and Ohio State.
The Fighting Mindies, yeah.
The Fighting Mindies. Yeah, let's get started here with Rob.
In these early ones, I'm looking at the Battle of the Techs here. I'm going to take Virginia Tech and lay the 10.5. Georgia Tech's still without their QB for this one. And it's going to be tough. We've seen what they did last week without their QB. That offense is definitely missing him there taking the reins and taking control. And when he's not there, I think Virginia Tech runs it up. So give me Virginia Tech, lay the 10 in that one. And the other one, I went both sides. I'm looking at this at Notre Dame taking on Navy and Notre Dame by 14. I'm like, look at Navy. I want to take all those points, but I think Notre Dame is just the bigger, better team. I think maybe your play there is take Navy first half. I think they might be able to keep it close in the first half of this game, but I think Notre Dame is just too big and strong. Pulls away. You look who Navy's played. Some pretty soft opponents in there, and they ran it up with big numbers. So those numbers a little skewed off of who their schedule was for Navy. I think I'm going to lay it with Notre Dame in that one. I think they win by at least 17, maybe more than that against Navy here in that one. Another one I like in this spot. I like Washington better at +7. I don't know if I like Washington at the +5.5. I know Indiana without their QB, but the next man up, I think they'll be able to. They got plenty of weapons on offense there. Washington on the road. I think that's where the college game day is this week too. In Indiana, there. I think it's.
That's what I saw when I woke up. Anyway, yeah.
That's what I thought. So I think that's where they are this week. I think
Fighting Lee Corsos.
I think everybody's jumping on Washington, thinking just because they're the Indiana's QB's out. I think they're counting them out in this one, and I don't think so. At 5.5, I'll lay it with Indiana in there. With college game day in there, I don't think they want to lose. I really don't. Even with Rourke not at QB today there for Indiana, I think they still get the job done. So give me Indiana, lay the 5.5 there in that one. And Oklahoma, as we said in the game day show, that Ole Miss, I think they just run it up. I think this is one of those ones we see Ole Miss just unleash on Oklahoma. Oh, Oklahoma looks like they've given up in the season. Can you see it? They're not doing anything. Maybe make a bowl game if you try hard. I don't think so in that one. Give me Ole Miss, lay it there. And that's it in the news. I don't want to jump the time slot. I almost did. Almost did. There's that 12:45. Yeah, that 12:45. I was looking at it and I'm like, oh, I like that one. And then I went, wait,
that was a tricky one right there. Yep. On over to Mindy.
Yeah, Rod, that's kind of a fun angle to think about with Navy, right? I always root for him. I mean, my dad was in the Navy, my uncle, my other uncle, my brother-in-law. I mean, it's pretty crazy, all these landlocked folks out here getting to, go to the military with all the water. But yeah, Taven Jackson for Washington, not for Washington, for Indiana. I mean, he's been pretty stout in the couple games that he's played, still putting up quite a bit of yards every game. I like that. I just feel like Washington, the more you watch them, the more bad they get. I don't know what it is. Like, there's no light in that team anymore. I know a lot of people are on them. They like Fitch. They're just not my team this year. I agree with you. I like Indiana, even with their backup in that one. With the Nebraska or Ohio State, I'm just going to go ahead and go over that total. I think Nebraska can do enough to get it over. I feel like they got zero chance in this game. What do they say? Ohio State's not ever lost back-to-back in 17 years, something weird. And then I also like Central Michigan, Miami, Ohio. I like that game to go over. the total, there is going to be zero defense in that game. So yeah, I think this one gets over the total. I have it about by 6 points or so.
Yeah, from Mindy on over to Solo.
Yeah, speaking of going over, that Tulane North Texas game, I'm taking the over 70 on that one. I think North Texas probably scores about 40 for themselves. They might want to sprinkle on the money line. That Ohio State Nebraska game, Nebraska hasn't shown me anything. They fooled me the first couple of weeks with Raiola, all the hype. He's a 5-star player. I'm sure he has time. Once they get the players, we'll see a little bit more. But I don't think they can keep up with the Buckeyes. I'm going to lay the 25. Notre Dame and Navy. I really want to take Navy, but when I broke the game down, I think Notre Dame's just the players are just too much better. The bigger, the faster. The level of competition, I think it shows this week. I think Notre Dame probably wins this game by 17 to 20 points. I actually disagree with Mindy. I'm on Washington. I'm going to take the 5.5. I like Jed Fish. I think this secondary is pretty solid. Offensively, it's taking a little time, but with Indiana's, Rourke, whatever his name is, he's pretty solid. But with him out, they're obviously going to be a little more one-dimensional, and I think Washington has a chance to steal this one on the money line, but I'm going to take the points.
Yeah, from the solo, I'll tell you what games I like here in this slot. I'm going to look at North Carolina plus the points. They've been pretty good to spread as a dog. Virginia's defense has gotten really bad over their past three in conference play, giving 422 yards and struggling here in pass defense. I look for North Carolina to wake up in this one. I think there's some value in Georgia Tech here. Sometimes you don't see a big difference in these quarterbacks here. King was someone who I wasn't a big fan of. When you look at his numbers last year or year before, really with his accuracy, Georgia Tech is a team that can run for 5 yards a carry. Pyron was able to pass for 269 yards against Notre Dame, so he was able to move the football. We know Virginia Tech's pretty good offensive numbers as well. With the Hokies here, get up 7.5 yards per pass step in conference. Georgia Tech has been 11-5 of the spread as a road dog. I'll take the points here with Georgia Tech. I think there's some value in that big number there. As well, I think there's also value in that Buffalo number. Buffalo taking the points here against Ohio Bobcats. To me, the concern with Ohio is Parker Navarro. He's almost ready to lose his job. His numbers have been really bad, very inaccurate at quarterback right now for this Ohio Bobcat team. When you're looking at this Buffalo team, they defend well. They have a really good passing attack against the MAC, 7.5 yards per pass attempt against the MAC. They force turnovers. The Bobcats, a -8 turnover margin. That's because Navarro's throwing picks. I'll look at Buffalo there at plus the points in that spot. And I'll take the plus price. I know Solo was talking about sprinkling North Texas. I'll take the North Texas plus the points here. They're 8-1 to the spread at home against the conference. And the Green Wave passing offense has not been very efficient on the road. So I'll look here at North Texas here at plus the 7.5. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Speaks Morning Show. What we're going to do is we'll take the games up before the 3:30 Eastern, so there'll be a handful of games here. Arkansas, Miss State, Georgia State, App State, Central Michigan, Miami O, Temple, and East Carolina, who just fired their coach. We'll start these five off here with Rod.
Yeah, I'm looking at in this little small slate of games. I'm looking at Georgia State plus the 7.5 there against App State. That App State defense, it's awful. They give up plenty of yards and points, and I think this Georgia State team, their offense can do enough to hold the ball and keep it out of App State's offense, and hang in this one. 7.5. Yeah, give me the plus 7.5 in that one. As we've seen App State plenty of times, they give up like 400 yards a game. They give up 5.7 yards per rush on the ground, and Georgia State's pretty good at running the ball. 4.3 per rush. I think they have a great day running the ball. And I'm tempted to take Georgia State on the money line over App State on that one in this time slot. Definitely tempted, but take the points. 7.5. I think he comes right down the wire there. And the other one I'm looking at here, it's more cowbell. It's going to be noisy and ruckus in Mississippi State. And everywhere I see it says Arkansas. So I don't know. That cowbell all game long can get annoying. Trust me, you can hear a little cowbell, but the way they shake that cowbell in Mississippi State, man, that place goes nuts. And then it's like all game long. So Give me Mississippi State there. I think Arkansas might run into a little bit of trouble there. Plus the points with Mississippi State.
There from Ron on over to Mindy.
Yeah, I see that I gave out my Central Michigan Miami too early there, so sorry about that. But yeah, I agree with you. I like Mississippi State here for sure. If I look at some of these efficiencies, it is Mississippi State all over the board. So I definitely always like that. And then I think that would probably be it for me since I gave out my other play too early there, Tony.
There from Mindy on over to Solo.
That Georgia State App State game, I'm gonna take the over. App State defense is atrocious. Yeah, we're gonna move on from that one. Arkansas, what was it? Arkansas, Mississippi State.
Arkansas, Mississippi State, yeah.
I like the under. I don't think Arkansas can really move the ball like that. I know Mississippi State is they're terrible, but I don't really love this Arkansas offense. And at home, like Rod said, and Bell is going to be rocking. I think they keep this total under 56.
All right, from Solo, one here from me here will be tagging along with Rod here on Georgia State plus the points. Looking here at Georgia State in conference, a really good passing attack. They've improved their pass defense over the past 3 games, allowing less than 60% completion. Issue with App State has really been their quarterback accuracy and really poor defensive team. This App State giving up 5.5 yards a carry on the ground, nearly 9 yards per pass attempt. And against the Sun Belt, the numbers are worse on the ground, a little better, almost 8 yards per pass attempt, but that's still pretty bad for the Sun Belt. We'll take Georgia State here at plus the points. All right, let's continue here on the Tony's Morning Show. We're now going to move and cover all the games at that 3:30 Eastern slot. Boy, a lot of the TV networks love that slot. We got Bowling Green, Toledo, BYU, and UCF, Eastern Michigan, Akron. These matches like to populate this time slot for some reason. Southern Miss, James Madison, Northern Illinois, Ball State, Canton, Western Michigan, Rice and Yukon, Maryland, Minnesota, Texas Tech, TCU, Okie State, Baylor, Missouri, Alabama, UTSA and Tulsa, Wake Forest here in their game. Let's see, and Stanford, Northwestern, Iowa, and we conclude this time slot with Illinois and Oregon, the CBS game. We start with Rod.
And yeah, looking at Illinois taking on Oregon, I still think that Illinois, their defense can step up and hang with Oregon in this one. So it's up to 22 in places. Grab the 22 with Illinois in that one. Another one in this time slot, I like Eastern Michigan over Akron. I think Eastern Michigan is just the by far better team. I don't trust Akron at all in this one. You look at their defense, definitely not good. Eastern Michigan can hold up the Akron offense enough to get a win there. Give me Eastern Michigan. And you know what? I'm going to take Bowling Green on the money line here. Toledo got the win last week, but still not convinced that they're a solid team. Give me Bowling Green. Shout out to Ron because that's for you. No Rocket Man here this week. It was Bowling Green there on the money line in that one. Another one of this time slot, I'm going to take UConn and the Huskies over Rice. Definitely on the sold in this Rice team. And somebody thinks that Rice is going to keep it close. Yeah, I don't think so. This Husky team can definitely run it up on this Rice defense. For sure, Rice, they're defensively. The Huskies love to run the ball. 4.8 yards per rush are what they're rushing it up in that one. And I think they keep it out of the Rice offense's hand. And I just don't like that Rice team at all. No Rice in that one. I think the Huskies win by 14 plus in that one. As Tony says, man, a lot of action in this little time slot here.
Yeah, they don't belong here. They got to find a different.
Yeah, it's weird on a Saturday to see a whole whack of action going on.
They don't belong. They're on the team that start at 2 Eastern. They don't belong at 3:30. They don't.
No, not in the middle of the afternoon. These are big game spots. You want to not. Nobody want Rice and UConn. All righty. Another one in this time slot. Look, the Flashes are getting a start here in this one. 18.5-point dog against Western Michigan. That offense on Western Michigan is solid. I think they win by 28 plus. So lay it with Western Michigan there in that one. They run right over Kent State, especially at home in that one. Finish it up with Northern Illinois. Ball State, that defense is absolutely trash. Northern Illinois is going to run it up there on that one. I think they win by 14 plus. There, we're done with the Maxon section in the middle.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, Max, go back to your 2 Eastern starts.
Okay.
Let's go over to Mindy.
Let's start off with Oklahoma State and Baylor. Let's go ahead and get over that total. All of the trends are to the over for both of these teams. All of their records are heading that way, like 2-1 to the over, 2-1 to the over. I like the offensive efficiencies. They're way higher than the defensive. Let's get over the total on that one. We're going to try over the total as well. Northwestern Wildcats and Iowa Hawkeyes. Iowa is surprisingly 4-0 to the over. I look for that trend to continue. Again, it's Iowa's defense is not playing all that great this year. It's kind of un-Iowa-like. So looking for some action there. Agree with Rod. I love Eastern Michigan here at this spot, -2.5. I think that's a great number for them to go ahead and cover. And let's see, I had one more down. Let's just see if it's in the right time frame. Is that Miami game in this slot? Nope,
No,
it's not. All right. That's all I got for this one.
For slot, we walk over to Solo.
I like Maryland +5.5 at Minnesota. I think they build on last week and continue to throw the ball around, and they make a couple plays on defense. Maryland's a little better than that record shows. I agree with Rod. I like Illinois with the points. This Oregon team is obviously the real deal, but I think for some reason, Illinois, that defense is strong enough to kind of get that back end cover. I do like UConn -7. I think James Madison and Southern Miss, I think that total goes over. And one more I got here for you, short card. Iowa. I think Iowa does cover the spread.
I'm going to cover there from the Solo. Tell you what I think about these games here. I'm going to take BYU laying the points here. I'm hearing a lot of folks here on UCF. One thing about this BYU team is they can defend, and their defense is traveling. They have played really good defense away from home. On the road, giving up 2.6 yards to carry, just 50% completion rate. An issue here with UCF over the past few games has been their quarterback accuracy. They're completing just half their passes, and they're giving up 302 yards passing against the Big 12 with 7 yards per pass. I'm hearing that BYU is getting a lot of points off turnovers on the special teams, but hell, they're forcing those. You got to give them credit. Don't say they're lucky. There's lucky turnovers and there's forced turnovers. BYU is forcing turnovers. I'm not going to say that they're just a lucky team. I think that defense is getting the job done. And all those prognosticators who these are probably people that were out there touting BYU to be the worst team in the Big 12 at 20-1 entering the offseason, trying to justify their 20-1 prognostication. Sorry, you're not fooling me on that. This BYU team is defending, no doubt about that. I'm going to take Texas Tech here plus. I'm just not a fan of TCU, and I'm not a believer in this head coach at all. And the Red Raiders 3-0 to the spread is road dog of +7 or greater. The Horned Frogs defense at home giving it 5 yards to carry on the ground, 9 yards per pass attempt. Sonny Dykes, not a big fan of. I know he's a good mid-major coach because he usually just uses offense, outscoring teams. But we saw what happened in Cal. It was not a very good one. And we see TCU, what's going on with this TCU team right now. Believe it or not, I'm going to hold my nose and take Okie State +7 here against the Baylor. Baylor, this is a team that knows how to manufacture losses. They could look good on the stat sheet, but they're like the Jets, right? They look good on the stat sheet, and how they lose this game? They just find ways to lose. This Okie State team can run the football, 5 yards to carry, 316 yards passing, 8 yards per pass attempt. We know the issue with the defense. We know they can't stop the run a lick, but this Baylor team is having issues of their own here. With their pass defense as well, giving up 252 yards a game, 7.4 yards per pass attempt. And Baylor's offense has really struggled against the Big 12 as well. You got a defensive-minded coach there, but just can't get that offense going. Missouri, Alabama, going to go over the total. I know there's a quarterback change there. Drew Pine will get the start for the Tigers. One thing with Pine is he did put up some good numbers in his year at Notre Dame. Was accurate and efficient. Maybe not the wins and losses were there, but the numbers were pretty good. So I'll look for the over in that game with Missouri and Alabama. And let's see what else we have here at that 3:30 slot. Also going over with Wake Forest and Stanford, man. This Stanford pass defense, man, rough here. Cardinal 4-2 the over at home facing teams that average 240 or greater passing yards per game. I just look for a lot of scoring up there in that one. And let's see what else I got. That's what I have for you guys here at that time slot. All right, let's continue here on the Tony's Picks and Morning Show as we get ready for the next series of games here. Let's see what we've got here. We are going to cover the games from 4 Eastern time and stop here at 5 Eastern. We just got a handful of games here because we got a couple of big slates after that. So we got Oregon State, Cal, Texas, and Vanderbilt, UL Monroe, South Alabama, and then New Mexico and Colorado State. Boy, can they make that total high enough? We'll see. We'll start with Rod.
For me in this one, I got to go with a Vanderbilt scrappy bunch here, and you're going to give me 17.5 points. It's come down to 17.5. Got a little higher than that. That's 18.5. And at home here with Band-Aid, they've got the new goal post up, ready to go. They're ready to rip that one down again too, and go take it to the river. So give me Vandy plus the points in that one versus Texas. And then I agree that New Mexico, Colorado State, I don't think at 62, it should be a lot higher than that. It should be 70 like the North Texas one. I'm going to see a whole lot of points in that one. Take the over. And then how late did you go? I don't want to jump into
5 Eastern. 5 Eastern. 5 Eastern.
7
right before the
7 Eastern?
No, 5 Eastern. Just 4 games in the slot.
Oh, just the 4. Oh, okay.
Just the 4 because we got 2 big ones after this. So that'll do.
And
All
then
right.
give me ULM plus the 7 for South Alabama. South Alabama's offense is they can score some points, but going against the ULM defense, I think the ULM slows it up a little bit, and ULM might surprise and outright them there. Give me ULM plus the 7. That's
Rod, on over to Mindy.
Yeah, I'm also leaning there, Vandy. I've been pretty heavy on Texas all year, but I think, 3 touchdowns is like too many points. But I also like the over in that game. Both of these teams have they're basically 4-1 to the over, home and road. So I like where that one is headed. Also, I'm a New Mexico fan in this one. I think they get the deal. They get the job done. They have the better offensive efficiency. That's what it's come down to. There are total crap on defense, but so is Colorado State. I mean, look at this. My scale goes to 100, right? So offensively, New Mexico sitting at 73, Colorado State 36. And then on the defensive side, look how bad this is. The scale to 100. It is 13 for defensive efficiency for New Mexico, but I think it is offset by that offense. So I'll take New Mexico, and I will take the plus 5.5 points in that one, Tony.
There from Minneapolis Solo.
I think Texas bounced back. They got embarrassed last week. I know the spread is a little high, but, with Sarkisian, I think he keeps his foot on the gas. He knows he needs points to impress the voters. I'm going to lay Texas with the minus 17. I'm ready for the next slot.
All right, I'm going to go here with Oregon State plus the points here. Oregon State, a team that can run for over 5 yards a carry, average 6.7 yards per pass attempt. Hey, they played a good UNLV team. That was they had a loss there, but I'm not going to hold them to that. I know they have struggled stopping the run, but they do hold teams at 57% completion rate. We know Cal does not run the ball very well, and they are getting good play at quarterback with Mendoza. But when you look at the past 3 games for this Golden Bears team, the passing defense is going south here. Maybe it's all this travel, right? They've been already in 3 East Coast trips for this Cal team. They got 301 yards passing, 7.7 yards for pass step, 4 straight losses for Cal. Golden Bears 1-4 of the spread in consecutive road games. I'll take Oregon State at the big plus price in this one. All right, let's continue here on the Tony's Picks Morning Show. We're going to cover in this slot just the games at 7 Eastern because we got a lot of games at that slot. So just 7 Eastern time. Florida State, Miami, Troy, Arkansas State, Utah, Houston, Utah State, Wyoming, West Virginia, Arizona, Michigan State, and Michigan. Actually, we don't have a lot of games in this slot for some reason. I thought we did. And we will we'll continue to 7:30 Eastern. Actually, we'll continue to we'll cover to 7 Eastern. So Michigan State, Michigan, LSU, Texas A&M, Penn State, Wisconsin, Auburn, Kentucky will stop at. So all the games that start from 7, 7:30, 7:45. Over to Rod.
And the first game in this chunk that I'm looking at, give me Houston plus the points against Utah. We know Cam Rising's not playing, so that's one thing for sure. And then that Utah offense is going to be, I don't know, you had 5 days to prepare for this. I don't even know who's taking over from Ludwig in that one. Who's taking over? I haven't even had a chance to see who's taking over. But either way, you got 5 days to prepare for this game. Being Utah offensively, sure, Utah defensively can slow up things, but offense, they're going to be in a mess. They were already a mess, and now your coordinator leaves on you. That's definitely not a good sign for this Utah team. And the line went up. It's now -5 in places. Give me the Houston Cougars, who have not been great at times this season, but I think in this spot, I think their offense is better than Utah, and they can get the outright win. Give me Houston on the money line on that one. And then I like Wisconsin here plus the points against Penn State. Penn State, bigger game next week. So definitely that look-ahead spot here in that one. So give me Wisconsin plus the 6.5. Now, Wisconsin offensive line is pretty good. I've seen them run it up on teams. Keep the ball, long drives, and then punch it in for the touchdown. Give me Wisconsin plus the 6.5 there. And we know where I'm going there. Give me Michigan State in that battle. It's come down to 4. I still don't think I'm going to even spring a little that Michigan State can outright Michigan in that one. I like their offense a little better than Michigan. Michigan has slowly offensively got a little better. They can run the ball as well, but I think Michigan State can slow them up. This is always a battle. Give me the plus 4 there in that one. And then Auburn, Kentucky. Give me Auburn money line. I think they can come into Kentucky and get themselves a win with no turnovers today. That's big for the Warhawks. As long as you don't turn the ball over, they play pretty good football. They usually shoot themselves in the foot late, but I think not today. I think today they play a solid football game and no turnovers for Ron's team, and they get themselves a win in that one.
Yeah, I think Utah looks like Isaac Wilson gets the start. It's tough for NIL with Utah when you're competing with the church because they get 10% of most people's money. So that's tough for Utah. On over to Mindy.
Funny. This is one I've been kind of waiting for. This Miami game. I mean, these two teams hate each other, so it's going to be a good one. And Florida State is not a good one. So I'm going to go and take Miami. I think they run and gun all over this. Cam Ward, number 1 in the nation. I don't think there is going to be any hope for this Florida State team out there. Offensive efficiency for Miami on that scale of 192.5. Offense for Florida State, 23.4. Wah, wah, wah. Then again, I agree with Rod. I like Michigan State in this one. It's kind of funny. I was kind of looking at some opening lines from June. They were 24.5. How the times have changed for the Wolverines. Pretty crazy stuff, that's for sure. But I like Michigan State here. I always feel like this game here goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Like it is some quality Big Ten football, if you're a fan like I am. And it's the same thing. I think it's going to be the type of pound and ground game here with Wisconsin and Penn State. I'm pretty pumped for these Big Ten games here tonight, but I do like Wisconsin at home. They are tough at home. If this game was the other way around, I'd be all over Penn State. I really think it comes down to where are you at in this in these United States for today's games. Otherwise, I still like this LSU Texas A&M game to go over the total. Another great game for fans like me out there today.
Yeah, these primetime games, these home teams just seem to have that really good crowd support. I think it really helps the defense a lot when you get that crowd behind you. I knew that's how I felt when I played football. High school. Go on over to Solo.
The LSU Texas A&M game. Both these teams, lost the season opener and have built on that since, 5-6 straight weeks. I don't really trust Texas A&M quarterback, but they run the ball and they make plays. I think this total goes over. I agree with Mindy on that. I have to disagree on that Michigan game. Michigan's at home. This crowd, I think they're going to play ball, run the ball a little bit better. I think this defense comes to play. I think they cover the spread at home. Miami and FSU, I've been going back and forth in this game all week. I really like Florida State just to cover, but when I really break it down, they don't have a chance. Miami's going to cover this spread. Cam Ward's probably going to go for over 400 yards. I'm not sure what happened with the Seminoles. I actually agree with Wisconsin. Penn State's on paper, they're the better team, but this Wisconsin team the last couple of weeks, they took my money with USC. They took my money last week. I'm convinced. I'm laying it with them. Give me the 6.5 with Wisconsin.
Nice for Wisconsin there. We now see Missouri quarterback Brady Cook now questionable. We thought he was out, but questionable. We know the running back Nola's out, so just keep an eye there with that Mizzou and Alabama game. You might have to make a game time decision with that one, as that quarterback there is definitely an impact player. Texas will be out there without the receiver Ward in this one. Isaiah Bond, I should say, out for Texas. Leads in receiving yards and touchdowns. Lead receiver out for Texas today. There to note here. Other notables: Nick Anderson, receiver here for Alabama, out as well. So those are your injuries there today. Impact ones today in college football. All right, we'll continue here. I'll tell you what I like. I'm going to go over in that Florida State Miami team. Florida State Miami. Miami's pass defense, man, has really been getting hammered here of late.
Definitely.
You look over their past 3 games, giving up 39 points and 404 yards a game here. They give up almost 5 yards a carry on the ground. As well, the pass defense has been struggling here for Florida State. You know, Florida State used to be known for their pass defense. They used to have those really good secondaries back in the day, but man, that has changed ever since Bowden left. You've seen what's happened is the pass defense has gotten worse and worse. It's never recovered because that was your. Well, if you look for a corner in the NFL draft, you look to Florida State. That's not the case anymore. So I'll take the over in this game. I'm with you guys there with Houston plus the 4. Boy, this Utah offense just can't get it done. 3-7 the spread on the road after a home game. Utes, boy, with the Whittingham team, a -3 turnover margin this year. We don't really see that. But one thing with Houston, we've seen their play improve during the conference because they had a little struggle to start, but their play has improved in conference. I'll look at that spot there. Man, this Utah State team, they burned me last week, but man, Wyoming's offense is so bad. This is one of those situations where their offense could just carry them to victory here. So I'll go ahead and lay it there, take out Wyoming in this spot. You know, this Arizona team, I don't know what's happened to Fafita. Maybe it's the coaching, right? Fish leaves, and man, he's just not the same. They're throwing too many picks there. West Virginia, boy, they've done the job at Okie State. They're coming out this long road trip. I'll take them plus the points here because they're running the football effectively and they're throwing the football. So I'll take them here in that way. They're stopping the run well. But again, Arizona's offense, 5.9 yards per pass attempt with Fafita. I thought this would have been a lot better. This is one of the more disappointing teams for me is this Arizona team because a lot was expected from this offense.
Well,
yeah, I'm with you.
Right?
Yeah, right.
The expectations were way up here for Arizona, and they're down above here.
I'm with Solo here on taking Michigan here. I think the Wolverines. It's not. They're going to cover. They're going to barely cover this game because they're going to be leaning on this defense and running the football. I could sometimes just see that touchdown punch it late. You see that. You see that a lot in the Big Ten. A lot of these favorites cover with a late touchdown, just running the ball and wearing down the opponent. I think Michigan will just wear down the Spartans team. They're not good enough offensively to trade scores with them. I'll look at them in this spot. Again, Wisconsin, I'll take them plus the points. Going to be a whiteout over there. Penn State 2-4 the spread on the road against winning teams. That's an issue here with Penn State. But I just think the spot is Wisconsin here in this prime time game. And let's see here. This Auburn-Kentucky game is one that's tough. Look, the money's come on Auburn here, right? Where's Auburn going to get the points? That's the problem. That's the problem. I'll look at Kentucky here. In this one, you got to respect the fact Kentucky beat Ole Miss and they played Georgia to a 1-point loss, right? I mean, that's enough for me to take them in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Six Morning Show. We're going to close out college football here. Again, we don't have too many of these late games, right? There are very few of them like we had in the past. I think it's because they're showing. I think the Mountain West is getting more coverage over the networks. So here we go. We start with SMU, Duke, Kansas and Kansas State, San Jose State, Fresno State. Cincinnati, Colorado, I'm sorry, Prime, you're in that late window again. I know that drives you nuts. Washington State, San Diego State. And the really late night game is Nevada and Hawaii. We got to start with Rod.
Yeah, looking at these games, the late night time spot, I think Washington State just runs right over San Diego State on that one. I think the Cougars whoop it up, as we say. I think they win by 21 plus. So I'll lay it with Washington State heading into San Diego State there. And you know what? I like Cincinnati here heading into Colorado. The Cincinnati, the Bearcats are always a scrappy bunch, scrappy. And you're getting me 6.5 points. I think this comes down to a 3-point game. Cincinnati's offense, no slouches. They can definitely ground and pound Colorado in this one and keep it out of Colorado's hands. That's the big thing. If you can keep Colorado's offense sitting on the sideline over there and do those Cincinnati long, crazy drives where you see them chew up 10-minute drives and then punch it in for the touchdown to go up 7-0. Most of those clock killers love it from Cincinnati, the way they play. So give me Cincinnati plus the 6.5 there. And then I'm going to take Nevada to win outright. They're in Hawaii enjoying a little sun and maybe not so dusty in Nevada, as Jorge says it's dusty right now. So I like Nevada outright. I think they come into Hawaii and get the win in that one. And that's it. I'm not touching the San Jose and Fresno. Not going near that one.
All right. I will.
I know you will, Tony. That's Tony's. That's right in Tony's wheelhouse. He'll tell you all about that
one. That's funny. Well, let's go ahead and start with SMU and Duke. Let's go ahead and go under that total today. I mean, these defenses are way, way, way better than the offenses, even though SMU, we lean there offensively, right? But yeah, 81 percentile for SMU, 77 for Duke. Should be a nice low scorer there. And then agree. I love Cincinnati today at Colorado. It's one of those, like, if you look at the numbers, man, Sorsby, he's pretty good. Completes 67% of his passes, 13 touchdowns. And it's pretty crazy. Sanders is like the one-man wrecking crew, right? If you could do something to disrupt him a little bit, you could go ahead and take this game. I do like what Sanders does with letting everyone have a chance at catching the ball. He does spread it around nicely. I do like that. But when it comes to like zero running game, what does that guy average? Like 30 yards, their running back.
They had a good one last week, though. Their run game last week was the best I've seen. But again, that's just a one-off. That's just a one-off, right?
Yeah. Right. But yeah, I mean, it should be that in the trenches. I think it comes down to Cincinnati. I also like that they can convert on third down better than Colorado. They're 24th in the nation. So when it comes down to being efficient, getting things done on third, Cincinnati has the edge, and I'm going to go there tonight.
Yeah, well, I think Sanders is going to stay healthy. Just don't throw it to your friends. Throw it to the guy that's open. Do the Tom Brady approach, and you'll stay healthy and successful. On over to Solo.
Yeah, I disagree. I'm rolling with Colorado. I'm going to lay the points. Shedeur Sanders, he's going to have this team rolling. They're back at home. The crowd's going to be behind him. Like you said, Coach Fromm, these late starts. You got to stay up late for this one, but I don't think Cincinnati can keep up offensively. Moving on past that game, I'm going to lay the points with SMU. I agree with Mendy. I don't think we see a lot of points, but I don't think Duke offense can do anything. I think SMU wins this game by 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, from Solo. All right, I'm going to go ahead and take this Kansas. It's a rivalry game. Yeah, there's double digits out there, 9.5. It's too many in a rivalry game. I'll take Kansas here at plus the points, plus 9.5. You can find a 10 out there. Find it. I would even wait. But we know Kansas can run the football. 5.5 yards a carry, 7.8 yards per pass step. There's another team that has a manufacturing losses because, it's really been the defense, right? Give them 5.5 yards a carry, 8.5 yards per pass step. We know Kansas State's a pretty solid team. They've stopped the run effectively. Look at the Jayhawks, though. Offensively, they are putting up 32 points a game against the conference, giving up 30. That math works out for me. So I'll go ahead and take Kansas plus the points in this one. Yes, I'm going to be on the Spartans plus the 5. Send in the Spartans. 6-2 as a road dog. Fresno State just 5-8 as a home favorite in this game. And Spartans have been very efficient in the passing game, 315 yards passing per game. They played Washington State tough in that game early in the year, and 8 yards per pass attempt. And they're defending well in the Mountain West, 3.5 yards a carry, 59% completion rate. And Fresno really can't run the football, and Fresno State has really struggled defending the pass. So I'll look here at San Jose State plus 5. I'm not going against Prime anymore. I've learned my lesson already. I'm not doing that. I'm going to take the points here with San Diego State. The Cougars really at home, they pound people. They're not the same here on the road. So I think San Diego State here will kind of keep it close. San Diego State's really showed some improvement. Boy, this team had a rough look. They looked like Brady Hoke's team when they started, but they've actually got a little better. The passing game has shown improvement here over their past 3 games, 65% completion rate, 8.7 yards per pass set. The defense has played well, given 3.8 yards a carry, 52% completion. So based on that improvement, offensive and defensively, and the way the Cougars have looked on the road, I mean, boy, what a big difference. 3.5 yards a carry, 56% completion rate on the road for the Cougars. I'll go ahead and take San Diego State here at that plus the price. All right. On that Nevada-Hawaii game, Brendan Lewis, I don't believe he's playing in this game. That's a big one here because he's a running quarterback for Nevada, and Lewis is questionable here in that status. Let me see if they're going to go to their backup because that backup isn't any good. Chubba Purdy. If Chubba Purdy starts, man, it's Hawaii all the way. But this one is a late steam game time decision. If Lewis doesn't play, you take Hawaii. Chubba Purdy want nothing to do with him. All right, there we go.
You don't want those old Nebraska guys. Come on.
No, man, these are guys that coach killers. I don't want coach killers in there at all whatsoever. So yeah, that's the next man up, Rod. For Nevada. Lewis is good. I like Lewis, but he's got to play in this game. So maybe the sunshine in Hawaii will make him feel better. We'll see. All right, let's continue here on the 26th Morning Show. We got you through the college football. Let's get to the World Series. Game 2. It's a big one here. Yankees and Dodgers. Dodgers up 1-0 with all the dramatics yesterday. The pitching matchups, Rodon and Yamamoto going head-to-head in this one. Dodgers favorite. Look at this, $1.40 in some places. Oh, a lot of Dodger money coming in here. Did open at $1.43, so I should say it may be coming down a little bit from the $1.43 open. So we're seeing maybe a little bit of Yankee money coming in. I would expect that to continue throughout the day. I know there's a lot of Yankee folks out there with deep pockets. Total sits at 8.5. But if you want that over, Bubba, we are seeing it now juiced up 22. Pinnacle is now moving to 9, so they're going to copy them momentarily here. So we start here with Ron.
Yeah, and it's for me in this one. I don't like Rondon at all. Yankees, they needed that win in game 1. I think they're in trouble here in this one now. I got to go with the Dodgers here. I think they take that momentum, and what I've seen in that game 1, they're first pitch swinging, so they're going to continue that here in this one, and that's not good news for Rondon. I think these Dodgers backs continue to roll. The over is I would probably see it at 10 if it continues the way it's going with these ones. I like the over first 5 in this one. Yamamoto, we've seen him he'd be so, but we've seen him at times leave some guys on base and pitch out of some jams that he's put himself in. I don't think he pitches out of those jams. I think we see lots of runs in this one early and often. That's why that over is juiced. So I love the over in this game, but I think the Dodgers continue to roll. I think the Dodgers in the run line to whoop it up. And I think it starts early by kicking Rondon right out of here. I think maybe you take Rondon's strikeout. What's his total outs at? 14.5. I think the under on that too. I think they get to him early and drive him right from this game.
Yeah, it looks to me that the Yankees want to get ahead in the count. They don't want to pitch from behind. And sometimes that first pitch just looks too fat, just too juicy.
It just looks too fat, and they're like attacking, and I think that's what the scouting report is, that hey, the Yankees will give you a juicy one right over the middle early. So the Yankees might have to change it up. Their little plan, they'll try to, but it's still the Dodgers. I think they're in trouble.
Yeah, Dodgers are not. They're very, very good at the plate here. We're on over to Mindy.
Yeah, I think it's going to come down to a lot of that, right? I think there's going to be extra base runners on. Rod talked about the walk. And then you get into some precarious situations there, right? Maybe pitching around guys, putting more runners on base. It just kind of seems like it's that kind of game to me. I'm going to say if it isn't broke, don't fix it. I'm still going to stick with the over. I feel like that's where it's going here again today.
Over from Mindy on over to Solo.
Yeah, I agree. I think this game goes over. I think Yamamoto's a stud. I'm not a big fan of Rodon, so I think the Dodgers might jump on him early, get ahead in the count, like you say, get up. And once his bullpen comes in, and we saw a little chess match last night with Roberts and Boone and a little cat and mouse. It kind of cost the Yankees a little late. Not really sure why they did that, but either way, we're going to stay with the over.
Yeah, over from Solo. I'm coming over too. Over with the juice. Over 8.5. Better hurry, guys.
Hurry.
They're going to start copying. We're seeing juice 20-25 now. So that one's moving up. Rodon in the playoffs, 7 runs allowed in 14 and third innings. And when I think about Rodon, the only success KC had offensively in the postseason, because they were winning games, one win by scoring 1 and 2 runs, I think it was against Rodon. That was the Royals, and Minnie knows the Royals, they couldn't hit a lick at all.
That's true. Not at the end of the season. Not at all.
The only team they hit, the only one they hit was Rodon. That was the only one. And Yamamoto had his struggles against the Padres at home in that playoff series. So I can see some run score in this one. LA now 10-1 to the over in the playoffs. that's something there.
Right.
31-14 in the over in the past 45. And we thought that coming in, the Dodgers were going to be an over team in the playoffs, right? Because their pitching staff and their hitting got hot at the right time. Last year, they were in a slump to close the season. That slump carried over into the postseason. This year, opposite way. They were pushed by the Padres. I think that helped them. I think it really helped them. They got pushed there at the end. Also, too, both teams used some high leverage bullpen guys yesterday, too. So we'll see what's going to happen here. So we may not have the studs here to close out these games here in this spot in this one. So I'll look at the over here again with the Yankees and the Dodgers. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Fix Morning Show. As we get ready here for the NBA, we got a 10-game card, lots of back-to-backs here. We got teams with rest advantage. We got also a game with teams on back-to-backs on both sides. We'll do 3 at a time here to begin, and then we'll close the last 4. We'll split them up. So here we go. Afternoon affair here. Clippers, Nuggets, Cavs, Wizards, Celtics, and Pistons. Over to Rod.
Yeah, and you're looking at I'm looking at the Nuggets here, laying 8. You look at the Nuggets off of a beatdown at home. They usually bounce back. I believe it's you got to go back the last how many 20-5 ATS off of a home beatdown. Like OKC came in and whooped it up on the Nuggets. Love to see that. Love to see OKC come into Denver and whoop it up. Love to see that. But this Nuggets, we know what they do at home against everybody else. They're not going to get pretty here for the Clippers. They're not in their new pretty arena. I'm sorry, but the big sign isn't going to bother anybody making free throws in this one. So the wall, as they say, the wall is not going to have any effect on any team here. The Clippers are in trouble, and the Nuggets take advantage. They win by 10 plus there in that one. And then look at Detroit. You want to lay 14 with Detroit? I don't want to hold my nose in the second half of back to back and be like, maybe Boston won't kick the crap out of us in this one. Maybe, just maybe. I think Boston wins by 20 and cruises to the win there. Lay it with Boston over Detroit there.
Yeah, I think Boston takes the, like you said, approach where we're not going to give away these games early so we can rest late. Some of these teams take the approach, let's give them away now. Yeah, you want to take these gimmies now because you want to rest late in the season. I mean, that's
exactly.
The right approach.
Take advantage of the early schedule spots and beat up on the bad teams.
Yeah, do it early.
Yeah.
On over to Mindy.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's early, right? I sometimes think, though, these teams just get disinterested. I mean, they're up so much, and they let these guys creep back in. I don't like these big totals games. I will be the first to admit it. These big point spreads games, I don't like them in the NBA, like, at all whatsoever. So I usually go ahead and take the points because I feel like that's just what it is. These they get up, nothing happens at the end. They go for like 5 minutes of not scoring. I'm going to go ahead and take the big points. So I'm going to take the Pistons. I'm going to take the Wizards. I'm going to take the Clippers. So Nuggets don't cover much for me. So I'm going to go ahead and go that route. So, yeah, I mean, I don't like being 0 for 3 versus Rod.
There you go. Maybe on over to Solo.
Yeah, we got a game, early afternoon start, high altitude. I think the Clippers are in trouble. I think the Nuggets roll them in this one. The Wizards and the Cavaliers. The Wizards are terrible. They have no offensive structure. They're selfish. They don't pass the ball. They don't play defense. They're poor coach. They have no depth. They're going to get rolled. The Wizards might be the worst team in the NBA. I'm going to lay it with the Cavs.
Yeah, from Solo, I'll tell you what I think on these games here. Yeah, I'll look here like I did in game one. I had to sweat it out, but I had the Clippers based on their defense and rebounding. I think they'll keep them competitive in this game. And they did hold the Suns 102 points per 100 possessions. Denver shooting is a concern. Denver 3-8 to the spread at home against the Pacific Division, although this Clipper team is a lot structured, a lot differently than we've seen in previous years. But I'm hoping that Powell and Mann can provide some scoring along with Hart in this one. So I'll just take the points. There's a big number there with the Clips. Washington is getting money, believe it or not. They're down from 10 now to about 9.5 because I saw 10s about an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago when I handicapped this game. Rest advantage for the Wizards here. Cavs on a back-to-back. See, my concern here with the Cavs is minutes distribution, right? Remember Allen, someone who gets hurt a lot. Mobley gets hurt a lot. I'm just afraid sometimes these coaches start to pinch some of these minutes away from some of these starters. Kuzma and Poole, capable scorers for the Wizards. Kispert, Valanciunas off the bench there. They're putting Valanciunas off the bench. I wonder why. But anyway, Kispert's someone who hit threes. Yeah, double digits are tough to lay for a traveling team in back-to-backs. I know this is like it's just mind-boggling that Valanciunas is coming off the bench. But I'll take the big plus 9.5 now in that one. And I got to lay with the Celtics because, again, I think this is a strategy. Pile up the wins early and rest late. I mean, we're talking about teams that are motivated. The Celtics are motivated to win a title. What do? They ran it up late and rested. They ran it up and they rested late. Well, all these teams are battling hard down the stretch, trying to battle for positions, avoiding that play-in round adds another element to this, right? Because teams are going hard at the end, and then we saw the Nuggets. The Nuggets burned themselves out. Now they won 21-27 down the stretch. They burned themselves out at the end. So I love the way Boston is coached, structured, strategic wise. They got a genius there at general manager, right? The former Butler coach that I forget because he's been out of the camera's eye for a while. I forget their names after a while. Stevens, yeah, Brad Stevens. He pushed the right buttons here. You guys, you go out and play. You go up and play early, build up the big league, get that Eastern Conference final and home court captured early, and you guys can rest late and win another title. That's the recipe to do it. None of these teams that just, let's rest guys, let's give away games. We saw Golden State yesterday had Draymond Green and Curry on the injured list, right? If this were last year, they wouldn't have played. But I think Golden State realized, hey, we don't want to be in the play-in round again. We're not going to give away any more games, right? That's how you enter. That's how you enter the play-in round and screw yourself in the playoffs. So I think these teams better learn that you got to win these games early. Don't take it for granted. So late here with Boston. It wasn't. They were up that big number again to the Wizards as well, and they got it done. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Fix Morning Show. We'll cover the next three here from the NBA. Oh boy, this Heat at the Hornets, Magic at Grizzlies. These are two teams on back-to-backs here. Raptors at the T-Wolves. We started off with Rock.
Yeah, and looking at the Heat taking on Charlotte. It's a tough spot for Charlotte, period. 3 games, 4 nights. Back-to-back spot here as well. I have to go with the Heat there in that one. I know we've seen the Heat lay a big old egg in that first game of the season, so I think they want a little bit of a bounce back and payback. And I think they take advantage of a tired Charlotte team in this one. Tough spot for Charlotte. Hope for your home opener there in that one. So I'm going to go with the Heat there. I think they come in and cruise to the win in that one. And then the Raptors plus the 14.5.
Hey, they got it done yesterday.
Well, of course they did. The 76ers with nobody. The Raptors had plenty of guys that came out. They even somebody's name. I was like, holy, who the heck is that? I got to go look who that guy is, right? It's like, man, some of these guys, they don't even know who they are on the Raptors. So it is what it is. Tough. Nick Nurse off of big beatdowns. Remember, when Nurse gets beat down, the 76ers lose by 15 plus. Bet the other team the next game. Nurse is now 9-0 or 0-9 ATS off of big losses. So
yikes!
And now yikes, right? So this Toronto team having to travel to Minnesota. It's a big number with Minnesota, but Minnesota's the better team, and I will lay it with Minnesota there in that one. I just don't see Toronto on a back-to-back night all of a sudden rolling it up and keeping it close with Minnesota there. I think Minnesota at home runs that one up. Speaking of early wins, Minnesota's going to take advantage and win by 20 in that one. And then, what was the next one? Did we do? I don't want to. Did you do Orlando?
Magic. We got 3 in the slot. Heat, Hornets, Magic, Grizzlies.
The weird Orlando line. Yeah, that looks like they're baiting you to try to take Orlando. Going, yeah, you only have to lay a point. You're getting a point with Orlando. Don't you want it? No, I don't. I'm going to take Memphis there in that one. I think Memphis gets the job done. Orlando on the back-to-back. What a mess that game was. Orlando was ready to did you see the end of that game? If you watched the end of that game last night, it was like the Nets didn't. They were like, no. Somebody had told them that we're going to score 100, and I don't care if I steal the ball from you. And it was like there was like 9 seconds left, and all of a sudden he was like, give me that ball. And he grabbed the ball and started a ruckus, put it in, and then all of a sudden they're fouling and pushing and shoving. And I was like, what is this?
Well, there was a guy named Cameron Johnson in the chat yesterday in the drive-thru. I told him, Cameron, he wanted, who do you like from us? Cameron just covered tonight. I think that's what happened.
Is that what it was?
Yeah, there was a guy named Cameron Johnson in the chat and drive-thru yesterday.
I It was I had never seen. I thought for sure they were just going to dribble it out, and then what happens? They score 4 points in 9 seconds to push that game right up and over the total. No, not fishy there at all. So just like this line here with the Magic at +1. Give me Memphis at home in this one.
There we go from Rod. We move on over to Mindy.
Well, someone's gonna have a good night. That's all I'm gonna say, Rod. So someone's gonna have a good night because I like the Magic here today. I mean, Magic whenever they're favorites. Well, I mean, I guess they're currently not favorites any longer, but were. But yeah, I mean, the Orlando wins this one. Their last 5 when they're favorites. But yeah, I realize the line is flipped now. But Raptors, Timberwolves, again, I'll take the big points. I hate these games. I'd never play them. But if I got to give a prediction, there I go. And then the Heat and the Hornets. Man, I think this one's going to be the dead heat, literally. I'm just going to take the Heat on the money line. I know it's like -170, something like that. That's the way I would go because I do not like these short points. I think the Hornets probably cover, but I don't think that's a play. I'm just going to take the winner. They've won the last 7 as favorites. I'll just be on the Heat.
On the Heat, on over to Solo.
Yeah, the Orlando Magic, they play defense. You know, this team came out last season and you know, they started out strong and looked like they were going to make a real push. And kind of like Tony said, toward the end of the season, they were fighting for playoff position. Their legs died out. They got in the playoffs and they caught up with them. It's early in the season, so I'm not too worried about the back-to-back. Maybe I'm a sucker like Rod. I'm going to take the Magic -1.
Yeah, there we go from a Solo. I'll tell you what I think about these games. Yeah, I'm going to be on Charlotte plus the points. Hornets offensively, 115 points per 100 possessions. Where did this come from, right? This is a team that was really strong offensively, but you got a healthy ball now, and there is rest advantage for the Heat. But you know, the Heat, when they're in a good spot, they're a bad bet. When they're in a bad spot, they're a good bet. This team is just an upside down team. They really only get up for these big opponents, right? That's when they show up. When they play the Bostons of the world, they play the Milwaukee's, the Phillies. It just seems to me, and there's some issue going also too with Pat Riley and Butler. There's some stuff going on in that locker room with that team. They're just not playing to their full potential, and we saw that there against Orlando in that opening. What a disappointment! But man, Charlotte's covered both games this season. They were dogs. They were in a similar role here, getting points and covering, and we've seen the offensive flow here. For me, the Heat, the shooting's the issue, and the one thing that bothers me the most is the effort, right? The rebounding. You know, they're not rebounding the basketball, and that's really what that's a bad tell here for this Heat team. Yeah, I'm with Rod here. I'm going to lay here with Minnesota. We know that there is rest advantage for Minnesota, and also 3 important rotational players out: Barrett, Quickly, and Olenek. These are guys that are rotational minutes, and Toronto is very paper thin with depth right now, and this is where it's going to be men versus the boys. You know, men versus boys here. I think it's a slaughterhouse game here. Minnesota to cover that one there. I'm with Solo here. I'm going to take Orlando -1 based on their health, and also too, don't forget Memphis has 3 rotational players out of this game too. So this is where injuries impact teams here in these back-to-back spots. We know they're missing. Jaren Jackson's out there. My man G.G. Jackson's not going to play. He was he's out on the injured list. They also another one. Let me see what the injury list here.
And I don't think Morant's played over like 25 minutes.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, Kennard's their best 3-point shooter. Kennard is out as well. And Morant didn't get much help other than Morant and Bane. No one else really scored last night. You know, and that's the problem here. They're not. And again, you're going to see probably their minutes come down a little bit too because they're in a back-to-back spot. So to me, depth is the concern here. Orlando has plenty of depth because they have almost. Now, they've been injured the past 5 years so much, they have 2 starting lineups now because all these bench guys saw a lot of starting minutes, right? Because these guys, man, if you go back to 21, 22, 23, they lived on the injury report. They used to have multiple subs and everyone, about half a dozen guys every night on injured list. But I'll take Orlando here, lay the 1. All right, let's continue here on the 26 more show. We'll do the last 4 2 at a time here. We're seeing my lights. Oh, we're seeing Boston get some. We're seeing that Boston get some money here.
Don't worry, you're getting 1.5 points with the Magic. Just keep waiting. That line's rising. You'll probably get 2 soon.
Yeah, I'm seeing some movement. We're seeing the under come in here on this. So my penny line is just blowing up with a lot of movement here. All of a sudden.
Hold off of a blowout loss by 20+ points or more to a division rival in the first half of the season. They bounce back 22-6. Straight up money line. Give me Memphis.
Memphis player here. Let's see. Yeah, Memphis now to pick up. We're starting to see that Memphis money.
Maybe it was Memphis.
Vegas likes Memphis, but Pinnacle likes Orlando. So that one's split amongst the sharps. Okay, next two will be Thunder Bulls, Rockets, and Spurs. We'll do two in the slot. We'll go on over to Rock.
Man, I'm looking at this OKC and laying 10 coming into Chicago. I don't know if I want to lay 10 with OKC coming into Chicago. Chicago is on the second half of a back-to-back, but it looked real good outrighting the Bucks last night. So do you want to, as Solo said, it's like it's still early in the season. I'm not taking too much onus in the back-to-back spot with the team. They're still going to be fresh. You're not going to be as bagged as the middle of the season where you played like 4 games in 6 nights and you're in a back-to-back spot. I think that's just too many. I think OKC wins this one, but the Bulls get the cover. Give me the Bulls plus the double-digit points in that one. And with the battle at Houston, give me the Spurs on the money line in that one. Houston's played a couple games. It's their third game in 4 nights again. So give me the Spurs on the money line over the Rockets in that one.
Yeah, from Ron on over to Mindy.
I'm going to just go ahead and go over the total in both of these games. I don't know about this OKC and Bulls. I don't know what's going to happen after you go ahead and have a blowout victory there last night. So I'll just go ahead and go over. I know OKC hasn't done much there versus the Nuggets, but I think it's a different game versus this Bulls team. Plus, I feel like it might be a 3-point shootout type of night. And then same thing, Rockets and Spurs. Don't see a whole lot of defense going on. I'm going to go ahead and go over that one too.
There from Mindy on over to Solo.
The Rockets Spurs game. I'm going to take the Rockets. I like Udoka. I think he's going to put his hands on his team as the season goes on. His defense is going to get a little better. They have a couple more guys that create buckets. The Spurs are, they got Wembyana, but Vassell's out. Chris Paul is old. I don't really see how.
He really looked old. I think I forgot. I put that in my write-up. He really looked old in that game. In that game 1, like that was something that caught my eye.
And you say the Thunder game.
Thunder and Bulls.
I think I'm gonna take the Bulls with the points. I really like the Thunder, but that's a lot of points, and the Bulls got a little fight in them. I'll just hold my nose and take the Bulls on this one.
All right, I'll say what I think about this one. The Thunder and Bulls, I'll be looking under the total in this game. It's a back-to-back spot, as we said, for the Bulls. Again, this was a team that was very starter-dependent last night. The starters got all the score, pretty much did all the scoring. The bench did very little. So in a back-to-back spot, they're going to pinch away some minutes away from the starters, give it to the bench, and the bench on this Bulls team. We know this is a team that's probably looking to sell, but they may be competitive with Gideon Company. But again, the bench is going to have to show me something. We know OKC 19-11 the under as a road favorite the past season, 2 seasons here. So that's a big number too. What is it? 233? Oh my God, 232.5? No. Not with this Rocket, not with this Bulls bench. No way. I mean, again, it started dependent last night. I'll go under 232 and even 33 in that one. Yeah, I'm with Solo here. I'm going to have to take Houston in this spot, even though there is rest advantage for the Spurs. But the Rockets have won 5 of 6 against the Spurs. Notable injuries here. Jones and Vassell are out. They contributed 29 points per game last year. And we know there's not a whole lot of depth on this Spurs team. We take a look at the Rockets' 2 games at +7 net rating because they're defending again. Again, Spurs 2-9 of the spread as a home dog at 6 or fewer points. I'll be looking at Houston in this one. All right, let's continue here on the 26 Morning Show as we'll close out the NBA with a couple of good ones here. We got the Mavericks at Suns and the Kings and Lakers. Over to Rod.
Yeah, for me, the one I like here in this one, and the line's already on the rise up to it went 2.5. It's up to 3 now. I think it gets even higher. Give me Dallas to kick the crap out of Phoenix. I'm not sold on Phoenix at all. Look, 0-2 ATS to kickstart their season. Yeah, they're not covering anything. And as a home dog here in that one, no thanks. Give me the Mavericks to what they do. The Mavericks all last season they kicked the crap out of the bad teams. I'm not sold on this Phoenix team at all. They've tried many seasons to change things up, and they changed it up again here, and I don't think it's going to improve them whatsoever. I think they got taken some steps back, and I think the Mavs come in and pound them in this one. Give me the Mavs big. I might look for an extendo line. Maybe take them a 9.5. I think they win by double digits over the Suns there.
Yeah, looks like the Suns may not have recovered after getting rid of a lot of their depth a couple seasons ago. On over to Mindy.
Yeah, I mean, I always think the Suns play better at home, but I don't think this is the spot for them today. I agree with the Mavs here in this spot. And then when it comes down to the Kings and the Lakers, I always lose this bet. I'm going to be on the Kings, so you guys should probably do Bizarro and do the opposite of me. Maybe take that Lakers team, but I'll take the Kings.
I'm not touching that game with a 10-foot pole. How's that?
I am. You can make it a 20. Yeah, I am. I have no problem with this.
They lose. Just so you guys
I have no problem giving this one. Now let's go over to Solo.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the Kings-Lakers game. I think the Kings are pissed off. They started the season with that home and opener loss to Minnesota. They on the road here versus the Lakers. I like JJ Redick's been making a little halftime adjustments. Obviously, everything's running through AD. Reeves made a lot of shots last night. I think they're an older team. I agree with Tony. We might see a little regression, so this total might get over. But at the end of the day, I think the Lakers win this game.
Yeah, from Solo. All right, tell you what think about this one. I'm there with Ron here with Dallas laying the points. This is what Dallas does. They are a good road favorite, 20-6 to the spread, dating back to last season as a road favorite. Again, the issue with the Suns and why they couldn't separate against the Clippers in Game 1 is the reason is because of their turnovers and their lack of rebounding. Who's going to rebound for the Suns team? You got a lot of these perimeter scorers. They're getting crushed on the glass, and this may be a long issue here for the Suns team. Although their shooting numbers look good, but again, what also adds to the efficiency numbers are your turnovers and your rebounding, your offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. But I'll look here at Dallas in here. Dallas after one game really should good defense on the court. And well, Sacramento has won 5 straight and 8 of 9 against the Lakers. So that is something that shocked me when I looked. What? It is true. Yeah. Remember in the play-in round, everybody was talking. The Lakers got to avoid Sacramento. They got to avoid Sacramento. Sacramento has their number. That was a big talk during the play-in talk last year. But again, when you look at my write-ups, I do a lot of recap from the previous game. That's just forcing me to look at the box score. What helps me a lot is looking at these box scores. When you look at those box scores every day, you start to learn the players. You start to learn about the bench. These are certain things that I look at and look at the correlation between starting scoring and bench scoring. This is one of these games yesterday when you look at the box score, it was all top heavy for the Lakers. 4 of their starters pretty much delivered all of the points. And again, this is a situation back to back where we're going to limit your limits, LeBron. We're going to limit your minutes, Davis. Some of the other guys are going to be playing limited minutes. I know it's early in the season, but LeBron's almost 40, right? I mean, and he's had some injuries in the past. They had a healthy year last year, pretty much. They want to keep it that way. Davis, is he going to play out of his mind again in a back-to-back spot? This is where I'm a little nervous with here is they just don't have the bench depth, I think, here to face the rest of the Sacramento team. The line's short, right? And look at Lakers at 1 point favorite. What was Ron saying? They're begging you to take the Lakers. They're only a point favorite. Right? The line is pretty telling you. Only at 1 point at home. It is a back-to-back spot.
At home, too,
right?
Yeah.
At home, right? At home. They're a 1 point favorite. And, the Lakers, again, very good offensive efficiency. When you look at the Kings, 14-10, the spread is road dog. But, again, bench is going to get more minutes in this game. And look at the box scores. The bench it's been the starter. We're all talking about AD. We're all talking about LeBron. We're all talking about Austin Reeves. But they're going to need these other guys tonight. These are spots where you need your bench. This is what happens. But I think the Lakers, if they get this coaching, they'll do better and play better in the playoffs. But in back-to-back spots, unfortunately, there aren't those spots in the playoffs, so you won't have to worry about this. But in this spot, I got to look here at Sacramento, who for themselves have been horrible in back-to-back spots too. Remember that, Rob, from last couple of seasons. The Kings have been a fade in back-to-back. All this stuff's coming back. It's all coming back to me now. Right? I can remember this. All right. Let's continue on here on the Tony Fix Morning Show. We got this big 14-game card from the NHL. I'll ask Solo, you want to sit through this 14-game card? We'll let you roll if you need it.
Now I'm a slide. No ice for Solo today, but check me out at Tony's Picks. I got about 10 plays up. I got 6 in the NBA, 4 college football. So we're gonna try to build on that. We went 4-3, 4-2 yesterday. Decent week. So check me out at Tony's Picks. Let's make some money.
Make some money with Solo. Top of the leaderboard over the last 7 days. Solo's been on a fire here. 849 units of profit. So get on board with Solo. Why not try him out with that 3-day pass? Get all his NFL, all his college football. here for this weekend. Remember that covers the Monday night game as well. World Series in there as well. NBA, we got lots with all these sports overlapping. This is the time to get on board with that long-term pass with Solo. Top of the leaderboard right now, the last 7 days. Get on board with Solo over at Tony's Picks. All right, Solo, it's always great having you on the morning show. Have yourself a great afternoon, evening. We'll catch you with you soon.
All right, see y'all. Y'all have a good one.
Good luck.
Make your money.
You as well.
Thank you.
Solo here on the Tony Fix Morning Show. Guys, hit the link in the description. You'll find Solo's page sitting on top of the 7-day leaderboard. All right, let's knock it out here. NHL, we know it's Saturday. It's a big heart from the NHL.
Blades of Steel.
Blades of Steel. We're on the ice. So let's do this here
Look
3
at
at a time
that.
with Ron and the best during hockey, Ron and Mindy here. Well, Stephen Duncan as well does good work. I haven't heard from Steve for a while. I think he's still trying to find his way, maybe on some U-Haul somewhere. Maybe got stuck on the side of the road. We'll see how that's going.
Flat tire, broke it down, no gas. I don't know, walking with a jerry.
Sitting at customs for 4 hours.
He's having a hard time getting across the border. I think he has to make several trips, right? Maybe 3 or 4 trips back and forth. So that's why
3 or 4 back and forth. A couple of U-Haul trips.
That's right. So
see, and he tried to make the Bucks. He got caught with stuff at the border coming back. It was like, oh no. The cargo messed him up. It was like, no, you cannot bring
what the problem is, it's cash only, right? It's cash only. So
see, and he didn't realize that.
He didn't bring the cash to get you.
We're up here in Canada, lots of debit, right? Yeah.
Cash only. We take cash only. So that's the problem. All right, we'll start the 3. We've got some afternoon action here today. So
Judy, she wants to say hi.
That is Judy. How you doing? Wow.
The big dog is here.
The big dog is here. Big dog, ready to roll. All right. Afternoon affairs here. Wildflyers, Wings, Sabres, Hockey Club, and Kings. Kings play an early one because the Lakers play a night one tonight. So let's sit down.
Yeah, right. Just look at the work that the Crypto.com arena is going to be putting in there tonight. Big work. You got the hockey game early, and then you got to quickly they cover up the ice and get the court in there for tonight's action. So we will look at that one for you. And Kings and this is a tough spot, I think, here for the Kings. You look at the Kings; both defenses giving up 3+ goals a game here, and I think that catches up here with the Kings versus this Utah Hockey Club. Who's going to start? Should be Kemper, I think, back for the Kings here in this one. I don't see any confirmed yet on who's going, but as the dog is barking, yes, take the Utah Hockey Club in this one. Over the Kings in this one, and then another big one to kick off the day. We got Detroit here. You look Buffalo. Hey, they've won 2 games, and that's about it. That's about as far as Buffalo could take it. They win a couple games. But Buffalo in long winning streaks, no chance am I going to be riding any Buffalo team off a long win. See, the dog's barking today. Ooh, bark. Detroit's won 3 straight hockey games.
You got to sprinkle. When they don't stop barking, you got to sprinkle, Rod.
Yeah, you just got to keep going with the dog.
I don't even think he's thinking about sprinkling. I think he's going all in.
I'm going all in. Detroit's winners of 3 straight hockey games and playing great hockey. Turning things around is this Detroit team. So I like Detroit there in that one. The big plus price, you're giving me plus money, give me Detroit. Give me plus money, give me Utah. The 2 I like there. And I lean to Philadelphia is looking like awful. That team's going the wrong direction. Giving up 3+ goals in games regularly. Well, this Wild team, guess what? Still undefeated in regulation. They're a good team. Solid Minnesota team. I would take the Wild there in that one.
Flyers have an old school coach. I wonder how long.
How long? Right? I think he's the last one of the old school coaches. There's not many left of those.
Yeah.
It's going the way of the dinosaur. Those ones.
Yeah, those old school ones there. On over to Mindy.
Yeah, I mean, we may not have seen eye to eye in the NBA, but so far in the NHL, we're like going for it. But yeah, I mean, the Kings have already had their home opener, right? So we don't have to worry about that anymore, right? So yeah, I like Utah plus money here. Same thing. I do not ever like Detroit at home, but I love Detroit on the road. So again, give me some plus money with the Red Wings there. And I like the under 6 in that Wild Flyers game. I mean, these two barely get to 4.
All right, let's continue here on this Tony's Morning Show as we continue on this 14-game card from the NHL on Saturday. Next up, Blues Canadiens. The Ducks are in New York to face the Rangers. Jets and Flames over 2, Rod.
Yeah, look at the Jets and the Flames. For me, it's the Flames. They're off to a nice hot start, but I'm hearing the Flames are starting to sputter out. Watch out. Just lost to Carolina, and I think that continues. The Flames give up way too many shots. Just way too many shots. 36 to 38 shots a game. You give that many shots to this Jets team, and they will outscore you. No problem. They will outscore you. They will win the game. Because defensively, the Jets, best in the NHL. Solid. Also, that power play. Don't give them the power play. The Jets will come in and whoop you up, and I think that's what they do here against Calgary. Love to finally bet against Calgary, giving the Jets big. I think they win by at least 2 in that one. I like them on the money line, but I'm going to also take them on the puck line as well to beat up on Calgary in that one. And then the other one in this spot, Toronto, St. Louis, Montreal. Tough. St. Louis playing pretty good hockey. They just beat Toronto and got to go into Montreal and get the win. They're 3-0 versus the Eastern Conference this season. But Montreal has been solid themselves, and at home they make things tough. You can see what the puck line is for Montreal at the plus 1.5. I think it's minus 250. So this game's coming down to a 1-goal game. Anyway, you slice it. So for me here in this one, I got to continue to ride with St. Louis. They are the better team. So take St. Louis in regulation because Montreal's covered the puck line 9 straight, as I said, versus the Central. So that's a tough one. Lean more to an under game there as well. The 2 I like in that time spot.
From Ron over to Mindy.
All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'll take the Rangers minus 1.5. I mean, we're going to have some empty nets there at the end of that game. Jets and Flames, totally agree with the Jets. I mean, they've been just totally rocking, folks. Minus 1.5 is plus 180. Why would you not want to take that? They've won like their last 11. Blues versus Canadians. Man, I don't see the Blues scoring 6 very often. I don't see the Canadians giving up 7 too often. Let's go ahead and take that over first period. 1.5 goals here today. That's covered in the last 6.
There from Mindy. Let's continue on here on the hockey segment. Maple Leafs, Bruins, Capitals, Lightning, Panthers, and Islanders on over to Rod.
Yeah, you look tough spot here for the Islanders on the back-to-back here in this one, but they've got 2 solid goalies that are battling for that first spot with Varlamov. And Bobrovsky, definitely, he can stand on his head as well. I like the under 6 there. Because even on the back-to-back, I just don't see a whole lot of scoring there. I know Florida's their defense has been not the greatest, but I think this is one of those games they have a little bit of a rest advantage, and it'd be tough for the Islanders to whip it up and get a high-scoring one in that one. I like the under 6 there in that one. And then Boston and Toronto. I look, this is a revenge game, man. Toronto got ousted again by Boston last season in that game 7 in overtime 2-1. So they've been having this circle. They don't like each other. This is going to get really ugly. They beat each other up because it always seems that Boston has Toronto's number. But I think this is a revenge. I got to go with the Leafs here in this one.
Yeah, from on over to Mindy.
So we got Capitals and Lightning. I'm going to go over that total of 6. I mean, there's been lots of points scored and given up here. Lots of goals, that is. We're going to go ahead and take over total of 6. Maple Leafs and Bruins. I'm going to go ahead and take Bruins just first period. That's sitting at plus 175. So I like that money right there. And then Panthers and Islanders. I think I will go with the Islanders back-to-back. I'm still getting plus money. I think that's the spot there for me. I'll take the Islanders again on the back-to-back. Plus.
Yes. There, plus price there from Islanders. All right, let's continue on here for the next series of games. Blackhawks and Stars, Blue Jackets, Preds, Hurricanes, Kraken. Start with Rod.
Yeah, and you look at Blackhawks and Stars. Tough spot here for the Blackhawks. Guess who's getting the start for Chicago? Soderblom. That's why Dallas is a minus 350. Soderblom, I call him some bum. Is in the net for the Blackhawks. He's awful. He's good for at least 3 goals. Most likely 4. And in the back-to-back spot, he got nobody else to turn to. They're going to ride him and let him just sit there and sink on his own. Because the Blackhawks gave it all they could to try to beat Nashville last night. Just fell short. They went up 2-0. Nashville came back, got the win late, 3-2 in that one. And now you have to go from Chicago all the way down to Dallas to play this one. The Dallas team is absolutely solid. I still think they come out of the West. this season. So now they get to take advantage of this back-to-back against some bum. Yeah, I'm going to take the -2.5 here with the Dallas Stars in that one. And then, how far did you go down? Did you take
the Kraken game?
Oh, we did the Kraken game?
We're doing the Kraken game.
We're doing the Kraken game. Columbus Nashville included in that disaster team?
Yes, that one's in there, yeah. The 8 Eastern and the 1 is in the 7 and the 10 Eastern is the Hurricanes Kraken.
Cool. Give me Columbus on the money line there. We see Nashville, same thing. They played Chicago last night, and now they go with Wedgwood in goal for Nashville in that one. We've seen Wedgwood already once this season, and he got a wedgie all right. He got beat up pretty good in that one. And on this Columbus team, they've been scrappy at times this season. We've seen them already beat a Leafs team. Now you can beat a Nashville team that definitely not off to the greatest start that they wanted. So too much plus money to pass up there with a Nashville team on the back-to-back. Give me Columbus on the money line on that one.
Yeah, from Rod over to Mindy.
All right. Well, we were doing pretty good there, Rod, until that last one. I'm going to go ahead and take the Predators here. I'm going to lay -1.5. We're doing the zig and zag here with the Blue Jackets, right? They put up 6 one game, then they only put up 3, then they put up 6, then they put up 1, then they put up 6. I'm hoping they put up a 1. So I'll take the Predators laying the puck line here. Then I'm going to go under in the Stars game. I know you guys are probably surprised. I just take the blind under in the Stars game. They've gone under the last 12 Saturdays now. And then I'll just take the Hurricanes here, -162. I think that's the play here versus the Kraken. They're too inconsistent for me.
All right, continue here on the hockey segment. We'll close it out with Sharks and Golden Knights. Penguins continue the West Coast trip after facing Edmonton. And they're in Vancouver now as they got a trip here against Canucks. I'll run over to Rock.
Take the over in Pittsburgh, Vancouver. You look at Vancouver, going to take advantage of a tired Pittsburgh team who just played Edmonton the night before into the back-to-back spot here. Also, Canucks, after they whoop it up and beat down a team by 3+ goals, guess what? The over is 9-1 following the beatdown of a team in the previous game. So I like the over in that one. And then we go completely opposite. Everybody's seen Vegas score 6 goals on Ottawa last night. In that back-to-back spot. I think it's a tougher spot here in this one. And you look at the Sharks after 5 or more games where they've got beat down by many. So after 5+ losses, guess what the Sharks do? They actually come out and they actually play a solid defensive game. And they go under the total in 5 straight off of 5+ beat-down losses for the Sharks. And I just don't think Vegas whips it up here. Sharks barely score 2 goals a game. I think they score 1. Vegas wins this 4-1-5. I think 4-1 is the score here. I think the under 6. Vegas.
They gave Kings a sweat. They gave Kings a little bit of a sweat.
They did, didn't they? They did. They definitely. I know. I heard some mad people on the Kings book line the other day. They were I was like, ooh, I'm glad they didn't touch that one.
$3 favorite, up 3-0, and how the hell on for the 3-2 win there. That was comfortable for those. Was bad news for those Kings puck line supporters. There's no doubt about that. All right, we got you through the sports on the schedule, so now it's time for our Parlay Purple segment here. We start with Rod.
And for me, we're going to go to the NBA parlay. I'm going to go with Memphis on the money line. We're going to take the Sacramento Kings on the money line, and then we're going to take the under in the Denver Nuggets. Take the under in that one. Low scoring one.
There from Rod on over to Mindy.
All right. So I was kind of digging into this Cincinnati, Colorado college football game. So let's do a little same game parlay with it. We got Brendan Sorsby, like what he's been doing. We're going to take him plus 200 passing yards and two TDs. We're taking Shedeur Sanders plus 275 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. And then I'm going to take Cincinnati at the +7 here today. That will be my parlay. A little same gamer.
Okay, we're there from Mindy. I'll give you a primetime parlay in college football. Give me Wisconsin plus the points. Give me Kentucky and give me San Diego State plus the points. That's my 3-team parlay. All right, we got to do parlay purple. Now it's time to find out what the cappers have for sale over at Tony'sPicks.com today. As we're looking forward to a really big weekend of action. Rod, of course, Rod put up some really good numbers this year. We see the numbers here, 1,779 units of profit. All talk about over at Tony Fix. What do you got for sale?
Man, Brady, I've got lots of plays going. I think I got 15 college football plays in there. I got a 3-pack early, so definitely jump aboard that 3-pack early to kickstart your day a nice winner. And then I've also got my NHL sniper play of the day. Package up some more for the afternoon in action. But your best bet, instead of buying all these packages individually, or it's better to jump on something long term, because you'll get any late seed plays. We find some information late that pops up on whether that Nevada QB is going to play or not, because we're not sure if he's going to play or not. I think he does. But when we find out the news, as Tony says, if he's not playing, we might see some late information there. So definitely want to be aboard long term, so you don't miss out on those late seed plays over at Tony's Picks. Hear me up. I'm not the only hot capper there. Plenty of hot cappers over at Tony's Picks. Take advantage of the 2-for-1 capper promotional. Use the Tony T at checkout. Save 50% off your purchases. Jump aboard. Let's have a big weekend.
Click link in the description. Get on over to Tony'sPicks.com and get on board with Rod. Get our weekend pass right now. Rod cranking it right now. 2024 document over at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, let's take a look over at Mindy. Mindy having a great NFL year this year, approaching 1,000 units of profit. All right, Mindy, what do you got for sale?
Yeah, so in heavy today in college football, just like Rod talked about, I had about 19. Most of them are totals. I love this card this weekend. I'm ready to make my move. We're ready to get rolling. I'm excited. I love the Big Ten action today as a fan for sure. But yeah, I'm also going to be in on the World Series. So make sure you go ahead and check me out at Tony'sPicks.com. Again, like everyone talks about, there's lots of hot handicappers here, and I'm sitting with 2 of the best. So make sure you go ahead and check us out. You can get us in those 2-for-1 promotionals as well. We can kickstart your weekend here. You can get right now, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. You can do it. I want to say 3-pack, but it's not. The 3-day weekend. So get it right now. Tony T at checkout.
That's right. Use that promo Tony T. Check out. Save that 15% off. It's time to get on board with these long-term passes. We've got all these sports overlapping here right now. Perfect time to get these long-term passes over at Tony'sPicks.com. I do have on the board right now at Tony'sPicks.com a 3-pack from college football. Also a best bet from college football. Got a pick from baseball as well. Been doing well in NFL this year. So and also on the leaderboards here the last 30 days. So get on board with me over at Tony's Picks. Long-term pass, 3-day pass is great. Cover all the college football, NFL for this week, as well as the baseball and NBA on the board. Now, if you want to go with the 7-day or even longer 30-day pass, we have these long-term plans. Get on board. Remember, when you get a long-term pass from all of our cappers here, the cappers have the ability to put in plays late in the system. We call it our late steam plays. Between any play they put in between 10 minutes and 2 hours of our game time, that play is emailed directly to your inbox as a late steam play. You get your regular member plays by 11 a.m. Eastern time, but the cappers keep capping beyond that with the late steam. So keep an eye on that and get on board with long-term pass over at Tony'sPicks.com. All right, we got you through the show. Before we end it here, let's find out what the cappers have over at the Tony Fix YouTube channel. Lots of content up there. Check it out. And we'll start with Rod. What's over on what do you got planned here next few days over on the YouTube channel?
Next few days on the YouTube channel, as you see, if I missed the hockey game and you're unsure, definitely go check it out. I've got you covered. All 14 are up there in short form. I also have another parlay up there. I got a college football parlay up there. We also did the college rundown show, so you can definitely go check that out. It's archived at the YouTube channel. What else we do? Oh, we also got the NFL show that's archived for tomorrow's NFL action. You definitely want to go check that out with me, Mindy, and Ron. Definitely enjoyed that. We'll definitely continue that going forward. Definitely had a good time shooting that video. So definitely go check it out. Lots of stuff going forward. I'll probably have you another NFL parlay going as well for tomorrow. And I'm not sure how many. I haven't even dug in to tomorrow's yet. I'm not sure how many hockey are tomorrow. There is how many hockey tomorrow? I'm hoping a light day. Nope, not a light day.
Yeah, there's only 4
games tomorrow.
4 games.
Yeah.
That's still one game would have been nice on an NFL Sunday, or no games on an NFL Sunday.
There we go. Moving to Monday. We need them on Monday.
Yeah, so.
That's funny.
That's fun. All right, Mindy, what do you got plans over at the Tony Fix YouTube channel? I know you sent some of those panels there, and of course, you're also in written form at Tony'sPicks.com as well. So wrapping that up now.
That's right. So we'll give you the skinny on all of these NFL games here for tomorrow, so you could go ahead and check them out. Same thing for college football. We'll give you a couple minute video if that is your choice of getting information. Otherwise, if you like the written long form, if you like the deep dives, if you want all of the information, you can find our articles under the free pick section. So you could go ahead and check those out as well. You can go in there and find college football. You can find the NFL, Major League Baseball. They're all there. So go ahead and check it out. Get into the deep dives if you like the skinny, the analytics, the numbers like me. It'll be for you.
Right there. Mini contributor over at Tony's Picks. So check it out over on the website. All right. That's good. We got you through it. Before we close out, any closing words for anybody before we end the show?
No, not really. I mean, I think I've said it all. Like, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Let's get those bets in. Look for some more late steam for the customers out there. And we'll be back tomorrow again, live at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. The Tony's Pick Morning Show. We'll have the NFL covered for you. We have no buys this week, so we're going to have a 14-game card here for Sunday. A lot of late games, too, up on the card. We'll sprinkle some NHL, some NBA. Baseball will have a day off because they got to travel to New York. So we'll be ready for early next week. Game 3, 4, and 5 out of New York. It's going to be chilly there. It's going to be chilly in New York.
The beers will be flying.
Yes, it'll be chilly. We may have some temps in the 50s, maybe dip into the 40s. It's going to be cold for those Dodgers. We'll see how they handle that cold weather, but that'll be the discussion for next week. That's going to do it. We'll wake up. Bye, guys. You guys make it a winning Saturday. Come back here on Sunday for the Tony's Picks Morning Show.
Good luck, you guys.